What's up, y'all? Welcome to Setup Evolution Episode 5, the show where we look at your setups and how they evolve over time. I'm your host, Travis, and before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to Twin-G Tech. He's actually the YouTuber that designed the Setup Evolution logo, so if you like it after this video, make sure to check out his channel. Anyways, let's get started with Martigen. And oh my goodness, look at that. That is so old. So old school. Oh my goodness, there's 007. I used to play that game actually on my PC, and I had a monitor that looked quite like that. Mine wasn't cool, mine didn't have the speakers on the side, but geez. In the next photo, you can just see how everything has already changed. He has a real desk, has a PC that's not as old, has a monitor that doesn't weigh 1,000 pounds, and he also has that little subwoofer there on the side. Pretty cool evolution, seeing something so old change to this. I wish there was more pictures in between, but this is what we have. In the next photo, you can see how he's changed everything. He got the speaker stand idea from my channel. If you want to know how to build that, go check out my desk breakdown video. I explain how to build those speaker stands. I love the way that they look in white. That is awesome. And if you've done this with your speaker stands, please tweet me a photo. I would love to see these. This would be awesome to retweet. So that is a 27-inch iMac. It looks like he has an iMac keyboard and mouse. Very minimalistic look. He has some LED light in the back, and I actually love that. Look how the LED lights on the back actually match what's on the screen with the monitor. I think that's pretty awesome. So these LEDs that he has here are Cree LED Light Pack LEDs, and it basically matches whatever is on your screen. And I'll probably grab a pair just so I can do a review for you guys so you guys can see. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I really like the bottle opener on the wall. His studio monitors are Bauer and Wickens S686-2s. His amplifier is a NAD D3020. The headphones are a Sennheiser TR130s. They're wireless headphones. And your cable management is on point. I actually thought your studio monitors were unplugged until I saw the little cable on the left side in the other photo. Still, the way that you ran that cable and the fact that you have a flat cable makes it look awesome. I'm really impressed. It looks better than my cable management when it comes to my speakers, so I might have to upgrade mine. Your cable management is on point underneath the desk. I am really impressed. There is one visible cable, two if you count the space heater, but man, I am impressed. If you can find a way to hide that one last cable, that would just make everything epic. And I also love how you attach the USB charging station underneath your desk. He doesn't really have any plans for the future, and it's hard for me to really suggest anything with this setup. It's just so clean. The only thing that I would suggest would be get a PC. I'm just messing with you, but it would be really cool to build a PC and actually have an ultra wide up there instead of a Mac. If I was really nitpicking the setup, I would just say change out the wallpaper above the desk. And other than that, everything is perfect. I love your setup. I love the evolution. Thank you for submitting. Next, we have Michael. Now, in the first picture, you can't see his setup all that well. I can see the desk. It looks like he has M-Audio studio monitors and a Samsung monitor. In the next photo, you can see that he painted the walls orange. He actually has two Samsung monitors, and it looks like he has a HP Pavilion computer on the bottom, and that is rocking an AMD FX 6300 and 10 gigs of RAM. In the next photo, you can see not a lot has changed. He basically has an LED strip running along the bottom wall, and you can see that he added some artwork, and it looks like a blanket behind his desk, and I think that's for sound dampening. Here's a better photo coming from the front of the desk where you can actually see a lot more artwork going on. You can see his M-Audio studio monitors here, and you can also see all the music gear he has, and you can also see that flip phone. I haven't seen one of those in a long time, but I don't actually know how old this picture is. In the next photo, you can see that he changed the orientation of his desk. He actually switched out his studio monitors for Elise's Elevate studio monitors because the M-Audio ones died. You can also see he elevated his monitors with a shelf with beer cans holding it up. So there's that. He moves some of his music production gear off to the right side, as you can see, and his cable management is just all over the place. Last, I do have to say I like the headphone hook. It's actually like the head of a guitar. It's on the right side. That's actually pretty unique. Wow, a lot has changed. He added some phone dampening sound to the walls. He still has some artwork up. He added 2 guitars up on the wall. I think that actually looks pretty awesome. Still has the beer cans holding up the shelf, same studio monitors. His cable management has improved greatly, but still not perfect. In the next photo, you can tell that he upgraded his monitors from Samsung monitors to Acer monitors. He moved his studio monitors off his desk and made custom shelves for them using looks like a metal stand, but the tops he actually made out of plywood. And it also looks like he upgraded the shelves that the Acer monitors are actually sitting on too. He added a Corsair mouse pad and cleaned a lot of the cable management up. Still not perfect, you can still see cables hanging down, but still a huge improvement over the very first photo. Next, you can see he added some LEDs. He finally got rid of the beer cans and actually built a stand. Here you can actually see the stands for the studio monitors a little bit better. Looks like he has some PlayStation controllers off to the left, so I'm assuming that his PlayStation's connected to one of his monitors. Just really clean in general. And you can also see that he got rid of the guitars hanging from the wall because he said that they were just hard to get to. Looks like he upgraded his computer. That's actually a Fractal Design Define S. He upgraded his motherboard to an MSI motherboard, still rocking the AMD FX 6300, and it looks like he upgraded his GPU to a EVGA 760. And here you can see a huge improvement in cable management. Now, he says his plans for the future are to improve the cables coming from the rack on the right side of his desk and upgrade his audio interface. Overall, you have a really killer setup. I think your plans for the future are just dead on. Once you improve the cable management coming from that rack, I think everything's going to look really awesome. I don't know what your audio interface is right now, but I really like the Complete Audio 6 and the Focusrite series. It also looks like you have some wood doors from like a closet chilling out on the right side. You just need to get rid of those, of course. And when it comes to the LED light on the floor, I personally still don't like it. If you like it, you can keep it, but I would much rather have the LEDs on the desk shining down on the floor rather than having a strip running around the floor. It just looks tacky to me. Anyways, thank you, Michael, for submitting your setup to Setup Evolution. Next, we have Justin. He started out with a Mac Mini with an i5 processor clocked at 2.3 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM, and 120 gigs of SSD storage. His computer monitor is a Dell, looks like a Logitech mouse to me, but I could be wrong. Also looks like a Logitech keyboard, and it looks like a big flippin' star right in the middle of the picture. Moving on to the next photo, you can see he built his first computer. It's rocking an i5 6600, an ASRock motherboard, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, an EVGA 970 graphics card, 1.5 terabytes of hard drive space, Cooler Master power supply, and a CM Store Enforcer case. Here you can see he upgraded to 2 Dell monitors, looks like the same desk in the same spot. He added some red LED lights to his computer. And in the next photo, you can see he got a dual monitor stand. Looks like he has a lamp of some kind behind. And the thing on the left side of the desk, to me, it looks like a headphone DAC or amp. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. And here in the next photo, you can see it with the lights off. Looks like he has some LED lights added behind the monitors. Here he upgraded his mousepad to a much larger mousepad. Also looks like he improved his cable management quite a bit. In the next photo, you can see exactly how he did that, and it is really impressive. Now this is really excellent cable management without an IKEA Sigma. It looks like he used 3M cable clips, and here's a shot from it underneath from the front. Here in this photo, you can see that he upgraded to a triple monitor setup, and you can also tell that there is a speaker on the desk. on the left side only, which is kind of weird, but reading his email, he explains that that is part of a surround sound system that goes to his TV that's on the other wall. So it does look like all three monitors are the same monitor, just one is missing a speaker on the bottom. Not a big deal, especially if you keep the one on the left off where you're only having audio coming out the center one. I could see that working. And it looks like he upgraded his computer once again. It's in the Phanteks Enthoo Pro with an i5 6600K overclocked to 4.4 gigahertz, a Corsair H55 liquid cooler, 32 gigs of DDR4 Vengeance RAM, a 480 gig OCZ SSD, a 1 terabyte hard drive, and a Corsair 1000 watt power supply. And it looks like this is his current setup. Now he does say in his email he did move that speaker off his desk and wall mounted it. And it looks like he got a CM Store mechanical keyboard there on his desk. He added some shelves above, and overall pretty cool setup. Something I would definitely do is that monitor on the left, I would get rid of that speaker so at least both sides look symmetrical. I would also get rid of that cable going up to the monitor on the left side and run it up the middle. You might have to get like an extension, but it will be totally worth it. In the future, he says he plans on upgrading to a second GTX 970 and getting a 256 Samsung M.2 SSD. Overall, you have a pretty killer setup. There's not actually a lot I would suggest that you do. The only thing that I would suggest would be basically get rid of that cable over on the left side, run it up the middle with all your other cables, and possibly upgrade your speakers. Thank you, Justin, for submitting. Next, we have Prayam. So the very first photo took place all the way back in 2011. Now here you can see his setup is just weird. He has a laptop that is, I'm assuming, on his bed. He has a mouse, has a speaker up on the wall as a left speaker, and then his right speaker is actually on the desk. The center speaker is right there perfectly in the middle. And his subwoofer is down on the ground and cable management is just all over the place. In the next photo, you can see he switched out his speakers for another pair of Logitech speakers, but he still has them in a really bad spot, way above his head. He upgraded to two monitors. One's an LG monitor and the other one is an Acer monitor. He has a Corsair K70 keyboard and a Logitech mouse, and a PlayStation 4 above. In the next photo, you can see that he got a white PlayStation and added some more boxes, which I'm not actually a fan of boxes, but again, that's a personal preference thing. Here you can see he actually tidied up his cables from the last photo, added a crazy, huge, looks like two 12-inch subwoofers on the right side of his computer, which is crazy. If those are hooked up, this is kind of silly, man. But still has the LG monitor, still has the Acer monitor, same keyboard, same mouse, and it also looks like he has an iPad. In the next photo, you can see that he upgraded his monitor on the left to an Asus 24-inch monitor, and it looks like he took some boxes off the shelf above. And I want to know why you have a plastic sleeve over the PlayStation 4. I'm going to assume it's to keep it clean and you take it off when you play it. Still kind of weird, I've never actually seen that before. Next, he got another identical Asus monitor and nothing else really changed. Next, he added a monitor stand to hold up both monitors. Pretty good cable management, but you can see the Velcro straps he used on the monitor stand. And the next photo, you can't see them at all. He actually got rid of them and actually used zip ties to hold everything together. And finally, he moved his speakers from above his monitors back onto the desk. And here you can see his cable management and his subwoofer. Everything's actually in pretty good placement. He says his plans for the future are basically just to paint the walls and the windowsill to make everything look pretty nice, and he also wants to switch out his lamp for something else. I would maybe suggest actually getting some RGB lighting. I will leave a link to a kit that I would suggest. And if you want a lamp, I'll actually leave a link to a lamp that I would suggest too. Overall, beginning to end was a pretty clean evolution. The only thing that I would suggest for you to do next time is when you take the photo, get rid of the paper towels and the water bottle. Last, I would also suggest getting an ultra wide, and let me explain why. Right now, if you want to do any game, you have to either look to your left monitor or look to your right monitor. You can't really be front and center. Considering how much space you're dealing with, I think an ultra wide would fit there just perfectly. Not all ultra wides are super expensive, and actually a relatively cheap one that still performs really well is actually one from AOC, and I will leave a link down to it down in the description below. If you do decide to upgrade, you'll probably also need to upgrade your graphics card to something at least like a 970 or higher. Thank you for submitting. That's it for this episode. I will see you guys next week. Peace.